Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced the unification of all segments of the Nigerian foreign exchange market. In a statement, the bank announced the collapse of all windows into the investors and exporters window. This move is part of the Nigerian government's efforts to improve liquidity and stability in the market and attract foreign investors into the economy. The Apex Bank also stopped the RT200 program and the Naira for Dollar remittance scheme effective June 30.
All right, so what does this all really mean? Well, Arise analyst Dr. Sam Amadi joins us now for more on the CBN's move. Good to see you, Dr. Sam Amadi.
Thank you.
Well, CBN floats the Naira. Many are saying this is a courageous move by the Central Bank of Nigeria, by the government, as a matter of fact. 7.55 rate today. The banks are, the central bank is still staying at 4.62. What do you make of this move? Will it achieve the aim of attracting foreign investors and fixing the Nigerian economy?
Well, first, this is in furtherance of the president's statement earlier, I think, in the inauguration, and afterwards, that he want to remove the, to have a one window, kind of unified Forex. And again, it builds up into the general practice now global with floating exchange rates and instead of fixed. But again, if you look at the statement, if you read the statement of central bank, it means that they didn't even import new policies framework to actualize this. So this was like they had existing policy framework that at some point was truncated with the multiple windows and the rent seeking and all the issues and the constraints. In terms of one of the arguments for the neoliberal argument for supporting floating exchange rate is because it helps with international trade, and because that's why the export-import window means that the government will allow the Naira, respond to how the market is, and one consequence of that is what we're likely going to see: devaluation. It's true that the central bank didn't say, "Oh, devalue." People conceive devaluation in terms of administrative instruments. Okay, today we deliberately drop the value of the Naira as against the dollar or against the pound. But when you allow the market price, the free market, to determine the rates, you're going to have devaluation. Now, it's good for you if that means that investors would want to grab your asset. But the danger to watch out for is that if devaluation happens in an unregulated manner, it could lead to loss of value, assets loses value, and the pressure of devaluation itself can lead to further devaluation. And that's why financial volatility often go with floating in this sense. The fixed window is good because, of course, it brings more certainty. It reduces arbitrage and rent seeking, and then provides less incentive for trade speculation, which has characterized the market. So the fixed window is very good. But the implication is that we're going to see the dollar on official market get maybe up to the black market level, which is what is trending, or even if it has got there. And then that would mean that those who people will be happy to repatriate capital, so you could easily, it favors those who would like to, pick our assets, invest with Forex. In a sense, it might increase availability of Forex. It frees importers, manufacturers themselves to have speedy, access to foreign exchange, because now, again, central bank says they are sourced to the money deposit banks to deal with some of the transactions, health, education, and all that. So, in a way, this kind of liberalizing it makes it more like a market that is not regulated. The danger is that the downside could be currency volatility when there is now a dumping, and then you're not able to control back the plunge.
I see where you're coming from, Dr. Sam. Your insight has been very inspiring. This may not bring immediate relief, Yet again, one good thing about it is it's going to help capital retention. But what options are there now for investors?
Well, first is that, like I said, with this certainty with this market-based exchange rate. It's an incentive for investors and exporters in a way. But again, somebody wins, somebody loses, depending on the strength of your currency. Okay, and of course, whether you are export-oriented or you are import-oriented. Now, the opportunities is that people are no longer going to be worried about rent-seeking, speculations. Investors know exactly this is what the rate is, and the rate is determined by market. Now, one of the things that will go out, losers and winners, will also be that less need for black market, which itself creates, if you like, informal underground economy that's now burgeoning in Nigeria.
So what now happens to those black market operators as well?
When technology arises and dislocates jobs, when policies change the game, people winners and losers. So people go back to other businesses. But again, what I think is happening is coherence with the policy of government. We are seeing that the government, but what I'm trying to figure out is that how will government marry this with one thing in the Tinubu's manifesto, which talks about commodity board. Now, the notion of commodity board is an attempt to manage pricing.
Right.
But in the Forex financial side, we are leaving it to float, meaning to respond to volatility possible in the Forex market, depending on the economic issues. But on the commodity side, to show up farmers' earning and income, we regulate price. So my worry would be coherence all the way, or is this going to be well managed in a way that, like central bank, there are some caveats in that allows the central bank once in a while to also, kind of tinker with it. But again, the differentials will probably be minor. And then the key thing is that they're keeping an eye on the Forex market, but at the same time allowing more flexibility and market-based operations, and the banks, instead of everybody coming to the central bank. Yeah.
We'll see how things pan out, especially in the long run for the economy. What happens to the 43 items, really? I mean, very quickly.
For 3 items?
Yeah, listed from dollar access.
Well, what
happens to that?
No, you have to pay it down or wipe it away, but there could be key things that they could retain, but it will be very minimal.
Okay.
With a floating currency and a fixed exchange rate, everything has to go to a market process.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Amadi, for coming on News Night tonight.